Hi, welcome to Great British Churches, and today we are here, as you can see, at the parish church of St Mary, Raydon. Yes, I know this is another church called St Mary's, but if you might have seen from a previous video that out of the 15,000 churches that we have in the UK, over 2,300, I do beg your pardon, are called St Mary. It is the most popular saint to have a church dedicated to, and as you can see, I'm so sorry about this wobble, I'm just trying to juggle. I've got a few things in my hands at the moment. So we've got this, and it's absolutely beautiful. We're just getting up closer to it now. I don't know if you can see from where you are at the moment. I will take you up closer, but it's got some pinnacles there. Now, it did used to have a tower, but by the 17th century it had collapsed, bringing down 4 bells with it. 3 of the 4 bells were cracked, but the 4th was recast in 1867 in Spitalfields, London, and it now hangs in a small belfry with a tile pyramid roof, and it's a sort of round the back of the church. So we're just going up here. Now, there are some table tombs here. We have got some chickens running around the graveyard. It's quite nice. I quite like the white one. But that's just amazing to see them running around here. Anyway, these tombs have had at some point metal railings around them. You can see on that big one there as well. Now, we do think that in wartime they would have had a call for metal, which was, people thought it was to make the bombs and airplanes and things like that. Now, I could take you up there. Now, if you look where that pinnacle is, where it meets the church, there is a dragon. It's absolutely beautiful. It looks quite big as well. So I'm just going that way. So I do have my husband and his cousin Jill with me today. I'm just hoping they're going to catch up. But they're talking to the chickens. There we go. Wave! Here they come. I think they're looking for take a chicken home. Hope not, we've got nowhere to put it. Alright, I'm going to try and get up closer to this dragon, so I don't think you saw it properly. Alright, just have to be careful I don't fall over. Now, I don't know with the light if you can actually see that, but it's a dragon with its mouth open. Absolutely beautiful. So we're now going to go around the church. Now, this, I believe, is what they call a scratch dial, and for some reason it's right down near the bottom of the church. You don't quite know why it's down the bottom there, but we come up here and we have got that with early decorated tracery, and by the looks of things it's got a little bit of medieval glass in there. And we've got up there, we've got some headstops underneath that bit of tracery. Now, this church, from what I can see, if we go over here, is made out of flint and rubble stone, as you can see there. Now, this could obviously be a replacement piece that they've put in, but it has been rendered. But you have got the coin work, which probably is used, well, more than likely with the imported stone. And here we go, we've got some cusped door gems here for the priest's door. Now, if you're seeing the video of St Mary at Holton St Maty, the priest's door was tiny. This one, I don't have to crouch to get into. I was about 6.5 foot tall by the looks of things. It's a little bit taller than me. I'm 6 foot and I can get in there quite easily. So we're just going to go around here. And we've got a strange little window here. It's like a window above a window, which is absolutely beautiful. And tiny little stops on those dripstones there.
A few bits of medieval glass left. I would say that further leaves medieval.
Yeah, I think it is. We'll see when we get inside. You see, and there you can see that there is some flint and rubble there that was used to make the bulk of the church. Now, because we are a rural place here, we don't have quarries where we can dig up really good bits of stone. So the bulk of the church would have been done with this, and sometimes they're rendered, such as this one is, and they would have had decorative stonework on the edges just to make it look a bit grand. And if you can see it up here on this window, there is a headstop there. I think it looks like a knight in a helmet. I don't know what it is. It's a face of some sort. It's got something over its head. And then, yeah, that was my husband. I do apologise. He's not always sensible. I do try not to bring him out. And then we've got here.
Oh, look at them.
You know, the horned devil, I would imagine, and a lion. Now, a lot of times, things like this were put on the church. They did serve a purpose, but they were also a warning against evil. They were to frighten evil off. So, alright, just coming round to the porch. It's a wooden porch. It's absolutely beautiful. I'm just trying to find out when the porch was built. I haven't got to that point yet. I think it's 14th century. It's a 14th century doorway. But it's beautiful. So it's probably 14th, maybe 15th century porch there. And I would imagine most of the timber used is still original. So we're just going to walk around the church. There's some more headstops there. There's like a lady with a veil covering her face. With the times of COVID, she's not taking any chances there, is she? And there's another lady there. She seems to be a little bit menacing. I don't know who she is. The nice thing about this church is there's wildflower areas. So where there's sort of like really old stones and things like that, they've let it go wild. So you get the wildflowers, and then obviously you get all the wildlife, which is absolutely beautiful. Right, this is what left, if you like, of the bell tower. This is just a little belfry, and like I say, the tower fell down sometime in the mid 17th century. It brought down the 4 bells. One was left, it was recast, and then it was placed in here, and it's absolutely charming. And you can see it has got the little tile pyramid roof there, and it's absolutely beautiful. Right, just trying to mind out for the dips and lows in this. So I'm just going to show you around the other side. I'm not going to walk all the way around. I don't think there's anything of interest I can't show you. Oh, there's the vestry. So, right, I've just noticed that for the windows, they used carned stone, which came from France. So you can imagine in the 14th century, bringing all these big pieces of stone over from France up into Suffolk. There's a hole down there. I really don't want to fall down. And then they would have been chiselled shaped and put in. Absolutely amazing, considering that they would not have had the tools that we have today. So we're just going to go inside the church now. I'm just going to enter the porch. So that's the graveyard there. Another view of the chickens. They really seem to be fascinating my husband. So we're just going into the church now. And it's got a water stoop. Right, they have put a nice handy rail for people who are not mobile friendly. So there we go, we've got what's left of a water stoop by the looks of things. It does look like it's been knocked about a bit to get the porch in place. And you can see the headstops here are quite worn. It's very difficult to see what they were. I think, is that a lion or is that a man? I think it's a man, yeah. It's got curly hair.
I don't know if you've seen it, above the beam, just underneath where the...
Oh yes.
alcove is.
There's another one there, and then there's an alcove there that's just poking through the beams of the porch, and that would have had St Mary in there because this is dedicated to her. Right, we're just going to go through the door. Now, like I say, this is a 14th century doorway. Right, and here we do have a tombstone. We don't know if there's anyone buried under there or if it was moved from the graveyard here. But this, we're in the parish, in the church of Raydon. It's absolutely amazing. Now I am going to let Paul tell you about this door and about the Book of Remembrance.
Yeah, we've got. Do we hold it?
Yep.
Okay, we've got a door here, which is in remembrance of the men of the 353rd Fighter Group, U.S. Army Air Force, and they served here in Raydon Village for a year or so, back in the Second World War. In fact, there's a bit of a history to it. This whole village, well, about half the village was bulldozed to make way for an airfield, which became the fighter group's base in 1944. And there's a book of remembrance here, and there's still connections. If I can just show you this picture here, that is a A-10 Warthog, which used to be a common sight here 30 years ago here in Suffolk. The sky sometimes would be filled with these planes based at two airfields about 15 miles away. But there's still, the US Air Force still has a connection with the church, with the village, because there's a lot of people served here. One of the guys who served at the airfield was, his name went in my head and just flew straight out of it again, but the first man to break the speed of sound. But in flying an aircraft, and it will come to me his name in a bit. But he was a fighter pilot based here in Raydon. I'm just going to hand you back. There we go.
Right, now you remember the door, the little belfry that I showed you? I'm just going to be a little bit cheeky. I'm going to move the screen. This is obviously where they have the Sunday school, and there is the door that goes to the belfry. Now the organ is a replacement, obviously, it's more modern. It was placed in the chancel in 1889, but was moved to the west end of the nave in 1998 and was fully restored by someone called P.R. Jackman. Now I'm just going to show you this. I'm sorry about the camera wobble there, but I was juggling things. So that's the organ. It's very, very well painted. Now I don't know if you can see on this wall There are some funny brackets, hooks, I don't know what you would call them. Now, this used to hold a balcony, a gallery, where they had a choir and a band, because in here the acoustics are amazing. So they had a band for the mass, and they still do have live music here sometimes. And you can see up in the roof there, it's pine, and I believe it's Victorian. You can see a little escape hatch there. So we're just going to have a look around. Right, the font here. I'm just getting that. It's the Octagonal Bowl is thought to date from the 19th century. It was badly damaged in 1999 and found to be constructed of plaster, rubble, and metal rods and wood on a stone base. Now, I think that stone base looks a lot older than the font itself, and I just like the colour changes of it. It is amazing. So we're just going to go walk around. So that's the Vestry Door there on the north wall. As Paul explained, that's that was actually given to the church by the 353rd Squadron, the fighter group of the American 8th Air Force. And like Paul said, they were stationed in Raydon during the Second World War. And we've got the roll of honour that he spoke about. These are Victorian pews. They're made of oak, and they replaced the Georgian hardwood box pews that were here originally in the 1883 restoration. Part of the box pews are used to panel the Victorian pews. So, don't know if I'm going to be able to see them. But some of the original Georgians pews. No, I can't see. Now here, we've got an interesting little thing. There's very few brasses left in churches anymore. And here, we have got, now that doesn't look a lot. It's 8 inches tall in height. I don't know if you can see, but that's just the skirt of a dress of a lady. Unfortunately, she's missing the upper part of her body, and apparently she had a fantastic butterfly headdress. And then we've got some script there. We've got a piscina, which is in the nave, which is unusual because you normally get them by altars. So I would suggest that there's been another altar here at some point. So you've got that. We've got this Pew Pulpit, which I think is sort of 19th century. You can tell by the thickness of the walls how old this church is. So 13th, 14th century. Absolutely amazing with these lovely tracery windows there. So just going round. We're now going into the chancel. Oh, and firstly over here, I'm going to take you up here. Now Paul loves these. Up here we've got the staircase, and it's actually in a turret, which is unusual. I'm just going to move this. Oh no, I can't move that. I was doing something. But you've got this staircase that takes you, or would have took you, up to the rood screen, which would have come across the chancel arch. Now, the rood screen, rood is the Anglo-Saxon word for cross. And I'm just going to take you down to the back of the church a bit so you can see. There's some funny noises going on around here. So, the rood screen, you can see the brackets there where it would have held it on as well. So, the rood screen would have come across here, and then in the centre of it, there would have been a depiction of Christ on the cross. And that's the Anglo-Saxon for cross is rood. So that's why they would have put that up there. And the rood screen would have kept the congregation apart from the Eucharist and the Mass and things like that. That was what it was about. This is the most holy part that we're now going into, which is the chancel. So we're just going to go up here. And that's the church bells going off. That took me quite by surprise. Jill's just checking her watch to make sure they're on time. Right, they stopped. I think that startled us all. I didn't think we thought it was so late. It must be 12 o'clock. So here we've got a lovely little Lancet window here. That's the one that we saw on the outside that's got the thing there. So this is obviously a cedilla. And you can see up there we've got another headstop. And we're going to walk around here. Right, and here we have got a window, and I believe that that would be the leftover medieval glass. Now, there was a gentleman, and I believe it was in 1643, called William Dowsing. Yes, January the 20th in 1643. William Dowsing visited the area. He spent about a year in total around here, and he visited about 150 churches. And he decided that he would take out some of the imagery, because we were in the period of the Reformation. And he took out 12 images of saints. Now, it could be that he'd done that by taking out the rood screen. Now, the rood screen could have had the 12 disciples on there. But there's also 12 windows. So it could have been stained glass windows. We're not entirely sure. So we've got that there. The Chancel Arch is another big one. That is quite tall there. I do think I have measurements for that somewhere. The arch is 27 foot high. So that is very, very tall. It's absolutely amazing to think that these people would just tie together bits of wood to make scaffolding and to do this. Right, just going up there. And as you can see over there, we've got a double piscina. And that does actually have the drain, so the water would have gone out into the churchyard. And we've got some more medieval glass there. I'm just trying to see. The piscina is a 14th century one. And it's constructed like a complete window head. So you can see the tracery there. The chancel floor, unfortunately, was raised in the 19th century. So that's why it looks so low now. So that's the reason for that. But you can see that the design of that matches those windows perfectly. And we've got this amazing window here. Again, there's no real stained glass there. That's been removed. You've got little bands of red going around the outlines of those. And then we've got another window here that has got some stained glass. And this what makes me think that when William Dowsing came here, he actually removed the stained glass. So we're just going to walk up into the sanctuary. And here we have got an Alabaster Tomb. Now, this is commemorating John Mayer. I can't read it. It's very dark. It's just unreadable at the moment. But he was a faithful and laborious servant of God. He was actually a rector here from 1631 to 1664. He spent 22 years at Little Ratting before serving 33 years at Raydon. He died at good age in 1664. Was clearly no simple parson, for his epitaph reads, "He wrote also for ye public good though these most useful books, including Bible expositions in many volumes, an antidote against popery, and ye history for the world from your creation into 1648. Now you can see that you've got the flaming urn of eternity, and you've got a cherub there in the middle, and then you've got skulls. And the skulls are there for us people living on earth at the moment to remind us that we need to live for today, because for tomorrow we could also be unfortunately dead. And it's just a little reminder from the grave that this is what I am and this will come to you too. It's quite a chilling thought, really, isn't it? I don't like that thought. But it does make you realise that you do have to live every day as if it's your last. And this is a tomb arch. And quite possibly this would have been the site of the founder's tomb of the church. It's now used for the Easter sepulchre, so it has got quite a big function here in the church, but I would imagine there would have been a stone effigy of him at some point. So where that went, we have no idea. So that's that. Unfortunately, that has gone. But like I say, it is still used being here. So okay. And I don't think I mentioned it, but the pulpit is actually Victorian, and it was moved into the from under the Chancel Arch at about the 20th century, and it originally would have had a stone base, but it might actually have been there. Look, something was here at some point. So we've got some lovely tile work here. So this is St Mary's Church at Raydon. If you like this video, I hope you did. Oh, that might be the Georgian panelling on that wall there, look. But if you like this video, please give us a thumbs up. Please like and subscribe. Press the notification bell. And if you've got a nice comment, please leave that for us. It would mean the world to us. We are a very new channel. We're very new to this. I know our videos are probably a little bit rough and ready, but we're doing our best. They will get better.
Just trying to get over the passion of churches, the forgotten places and all that.
Just bear with me for a moment. Can you say that again, please?
Just trying to get over the passion for churches. Neither of us are religious in any way, but these places have been here 600-700 years, and they are a marker of history of any local community.
They tell the story of us as a nation. It tells people what we were frightened of, what we praised for. These, in the Middle Ages, were the only community building they had. This is where they would have swapped gossip, prayed, and things like that. Just an amazing building. And they're very underappreciated. You don't have to be religious to come into one of these fine buildings. You really don't. They're just an amazing wealth of history. They really are. Anyway, that's enough of me rabbiting on for the moment. I'll see you on the next one. But like I say, please like and subscribe and hit that notification bell. Leave us a nice little comment as well. And also, if there is a church that you know of and you'd like us to feature at some point, please let us know. We do Suffolk because basically that is where we live. But we do go out of the county, and we will do other churches further afield. So, if there's one near you, we can put it on the list and we can come over and do that at some point. But thank you very much for watching. Bye-bye.